real close to losing it, but I ain't letting go. Once I find out I'm an Israelite, baby, we the chosen. Burning off impurities, cause baby, we the golden. Cold when we read the skills, we gotta leave them frozen. We the light, we glowing. We the city sowing. The salt of the earth, we came on ships and we was rolling. We original, but we been set back. They stole our identity, they really intercept that. Call us up the Jewish man, they really said that. Waiting on the kosher man to really get the clap back. Blowing up the trumpet cause I'm trying to get the setback. We the 12 tribe, let's believe that we can prove that. Separated from the world cause baby we ain't secular. Now where's the special treatment cause baby we ain't regular. We ain't regular. We be making noise on the regular. Yeah, we gon' destroy all our predators. The most I call us special, yeah, we peculiar. We ain't regular. We ain't regular. We be making noise on the regular. Yeah, we gon' destroy all our predators. The most I call us special, yeah, we peculiar. Cause we ain't regular.
Say you the real deal, Holyfield, yeah, where your facts though. We send the credentials, it's official like a fax though. Only 12 gates at my place, ain't no back though. They still ain't cut the check, tell me what we cutting slack for. Re-up, cut off like a print up. I can't hear you when you talking Charlie Brown, I'm a peanut. Blood spill, this a clean up on the aisle when you cut. Foot of the word, and we still ain't had enough. Catching bluffs like a bad cold, got that medicine for these haters. The Korahs and Dathans, and no, we can't forget about Haman. I'm over-explaining, you see it for yourself. We don't do it for our health, we just do it for the 12, no one else. It ain't regular to see the blacks and Hispanics agreeing. Gotta do a double take when you see it, mama, then they don't believe it. Babylon has been defeated, I ain't trying to be conceited, but I got a million reasons when this nation get deleted.
We be making noise on the regular. Yeah, we gon' destroy all our predators. The most I call us special, yeah, we peculiar. We ain't regular. We ain't regular. We be making noise on the regular. Yeah, we gon' destroy all our predators. The most I call us special, yeah, we peculiar. Cause we ain't regular. We be making noise on the regular. Yeah, we gon' destroy all our predators. The most I call us special, yeah, we peculiar. Cause we ain't regular.
Listen to all of them. Sunday's got a long lineup. I can't name them all, but you can occupy yourself with music, definitely the word, and a lot of information, especially what's going on the earth right now. So the lineup begins tomorrow morning with Patient Saints, and it'll carry it right on to the last show, which is Wisdom Crieth out outside of Austin.
Wake up to the Patient Saints, go ahead and grab your coffee. This truth is spreading across the globe. Our hidden history's alive with Deacon, take us through them times. Painted black faces right now, you know this not Jesus Christ. Raving the wolves, we prophesying in the fire booth. Bringing more fire, word to Deacon Malachi. You the ending in the lion's den. We got the current events, wisdom crying out at 9 o'clock. Come listen, we gon' set it off on Sundays.
Check. Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of WCO. First time I get a chance to say this. And tonight is your host, Officer Micah. And who I got with me?
Officer got a liar.
Officer
Answer hell.
Hold up.
Check.
Turn me up. There we go.
Let's get it again, ICL.
Okay, I'm Officer Asahel.
Officer Joshua.
Officer Enos.
Officer Zakir.
Oh, praise.
All right. We can do it again. And we make up
WCO.
All right. Hey, appreciate y'all joining us tonight. We're going to talk about a heavy topic. Of course, it's always talked about, but it never get old.
That's right.
Never get old.
Because they still doing it, officer. They
Yeah,
always doing it, man.
yeah.
They're always doing it.
It's a part of our life, honestly. You know, education, whether it's for the kids or college or anything, you got to get educated in anything you do.
Bring it out. That's right.
So, but tonight we're talking about the Board of Education when it comes to the schools.
Hey, let's put that thumbnail up, man.
right.
There's some
Oh,
things
yeah.
on that
Get that
thumbnail,
thumbnail.
man. Let's check that out.
Fire.
I'm loving this AI art generation, man. This thing is beautiful.
Yeah. So when you look at it, you can see the beast, you can see the religion in it, you can see even the time in it. The clock in the back. Look at that. Jake.
Hey, I don't know if they're gonna catch
Jake
that
look
one.
mad to me.
I don't know if they're gonna catch that one.
11th hour.
They ain't gonna catch the clock.
I don't know if they're gonna catch it. That's an Easter egg right there.
All right, and of course you got Esau right there in the midst.
That's right.
Right. All right.
You see that American flag, too?
They got Mary flag. Look,
Yeah.
the school bus at the bottom.
Hey, they was going in on that one.
Yeah, it's a
Hey, shout out to the
lot.
graphics team
No,
on that
that's-
thing, bro. They was in the
also-
spirit.
Also,
Going on.
I don't know if they're catching the fist bump.
They bumping fist.
Yeah, I don't know if they're
Satan
catching the
and,
fist bump on them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that could go in an art museum, man.
Yeah.
Those things
fire.
just analyze
Very,
that thing.
very, very nice.
Yeah. Can we get a little more volume, y'all? Please.
All
I
right.
know
Hey,
y'all
I-
sound.
Officers, I noticed something about the spelling of board. And it looked like
Hey, what was that word that officer brought out? It's a big word.
Bored. So what does it mean,
A
Nasir?
homonym.
Jermaine.
No. Wait. What Officer Matthew brought out yesterday? He was talking about the homonyms.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
He went to good schools. You know what I'm saying? He went to private school.
Yeah, he know that
bringing out the
that-
big
that,
word.
that type of language. That's why I told him explain to us what it means.
Yeah.
Matthew got a little clearance in him.
He did, man. That's Clarence, man.
It was definitely good having an officer visit us yesterday. But tell us about this board. What's
kidding,
so
officer.
special about this word?
So one thing, hey, put the thumbnail back up. All praise to the Most High. Board of Education. You think about it, you know, we have a school board, but like you said, what's the word again?
Homonyms.
So a homonym is basically a same sounding word, but it's spelled differently. And this was with purpose that we use board, B-O-R-E-D.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Because
that's
why?
Because that's what we have become here in Babylon. We have become
Bored
of
with-
their education.
Yeah. Not only with their education, with this way of life. That's
Yeah,
why.
all
That's,
praises.
that's how we come to
Yes,
the
sir.
truth.
Yes, sir.
Because we were bored with this way of life.
Bring it out.
And one last thing I wanted to say, because I was checking out the show last week, I noticed that you wasn't here.
No, I wasn't
here.
here. I wasn't here last week. I made a business trip last week.
Okay.
I made a business trip. I went down to Houston. Shout out to the leadership and the brothers down in Houston, the sisters. I mean, everything from the door to the congregation, breakfast. I mean, it was all praise to the Most High. It was a great business trip. And
Hospitality
I
on
had to make
point.
sure that you came here. I went
Yeah,
down
I was
there-
going to ask, like, was you down there double check and make sure
I went down there to make sure you was packing up.
That's right.
Yeah, that was my last Sabbath in Houston. But hey,
That's
it was
right.
definitely good seeing you there and seeing you back
That's
on
right.
this show.
Oh,
Praise
praise
the Most High.
Hey, we got Enos here tonight.
That's how Christ blessed. Glad to be on the show today.
All praises.
All
Sir.
praises,
All
officer.
praise.
All
Out
praises.
there been prophesying, y'all. Been out there prophesying.
Hey, but before we get started, officer.
What you got?
Hey, y'all know what we got to do. We definitely got to give a shout out to our bishops.
Yes.
Bishop
Yes.
Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasam, Bishop Kanai,
out.
all the deacons, the captains, and the officers.
Right.
Shout out to Officer Halez,
Right.
Officer Raz.
That's right.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless y'all.
That's
Pray y'all are doing well. You know, we're going to hold it down for them best we can tonight. Hey, we're going to get into this topic, officer. We're going to get into this topic tonight.
Right. So now we got everything out of the way now.
All the pleasantries,
All the
sir.
formalities.
So of course, let's start with Northern Kingdom and
hold
how
up, hold
they
up,
was.
officer. Remember that first thing?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
you right. You right.
Hey, let's get that image up real quick,
Yeah.
y'all. That image real quick. The quote.
Yes.
The quote.
Yes.
Let's get that quote. Y'all see what I'm talking about? That first one right under the words. Yeah, zoom in on
Okay.
that right
Let's
there.
pull it up.
If your plan,
Oh, God.
Little bit more, y'all.
Let
There
him
we go.
answer. Just a little bit more.
if your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children.
Right. So now let's focus on this last part of this quote. All right, which is if you want to plan for 100 years, educate your children. Now, give us that. Pull up that link with what is it? The dark history behind Native American boarding school in the U.S. Let's pull that one up because this is them planning for 100 years. Right? So with them doing that, we're going to see some of the things that they did to Native American in their planning, all right? The things that they had set forth for them. And the reason why they're in the condition that they're in today, the reason why they dress how they dress, the reason why they talk how they talk, it's all explained in this little short video, okay? Go ahead, play that. Get some volume, brothers.
The first Americans made to this Native American Heritage Month, a time to recognize all of the contributions the first Americans made to the establishment and the growth of the U.S. It is also a time to reflect on the challenges the community faces. Tonight, we are looking at a dark past in the lives of Native Americans in North America that has been recently uncovered and is drawing renewed focus on the horrific history of Native American boarding schools in the U.S. It's a painful part of American history that often goes untold. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the U.S. established federally funded boarding schools aimed at assimilating hundreds of thousands of Native American children, forcibly taking them from their families and stripping them of their culture.
There was a lot of horrific things that happened to myself, and I know a lot of other individuals that were in that school system.
The horrors laid bare with the discovery last June of 215 unmarked graves outside of an Indigenous children's school in Canada, which had adopted similar policies as the U.S.
We talked when we were in school about some people that went missing, and it was assumed that they ran away and we're never going to come back.
My mother is a boarding school survivor.
Kent State adjunct professor Kimberly Medicine Horn Jackson is now part of a research team tasked with uncovering the horrific histories at these schools in the U.S.
And we're running against time. Our elders who went to the boarding schools, they're crossing over daily. And we're losing the truth of what happened.
There were 357 known boarding schools, many operated by Catholic and Protestant churches. Here, Native children were forced to abandon their language, their traditions, and culture. Was this ethnic cleansing?
According to the Geneva Convention on Genocide, the Native American boarding schools fall into all 10 categories of genocide.
But now, leading the way in the top levels of government.
Now, for the first time, this country has a cabinet secretary who is Indigenous.
Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland launched the Federal Indian Boarding School Initiative to investigate the full scope of U.S. policies and their effects.
The removal of history in our books, that's a method of Indian removal.
Speaking the untold truth, only until then can healing begin.
How can we ever heal? How can we ever do things differently if we don't take the time to listen to what happened?
And just last week, researchers identified more than 50 Native children who died at a boarding school in Nebraska that closed in 1934. But they said the true death toll is probably much higher.
Damn.
Wow.
Come on now, dog.
Wow, that's so much.
Come on, man.
This is what you call a boarding school in America. It says it started in Canada, but then when you look at the end, she was talking about how it was in Nebraska. Right here, it closed in 1934, and there's an innumerable number. They don't even know how many other kids that were died or were killed like that.
The hell is this?
She also stated that it often goes untaught in schools, or often goes untaught, untalked about or whatever. But I don't ever remember reading about boarding schools.
No, never. You know what they always talk about? Them damn 13 colonies.
Yeah.
I know about them. Jamestown and all that.
When they jumped to slavery, and then after that,
they completely
Yeah.
Bro, Northern Kingdom went through some stuff,
Yeah.
man. Like, I don't even get how brothers be talking like they're not us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't even make sense to
Because
me.
it happened to Judah and to Israel. It happened to both. You know, both sticks.
That's
These
right.
type of things happen to. But, hey, let's read this precept real quick, and then I want to touch on that again. Some of the things that was said in this video. Give me that one in Ezekiel 35 and verse 5, because it talked about how they killed them, how they brought them together up under that type of teaching and all of this stuff that they did. All right, but watch this.
Officer
Come
Mike,
on.
I got a map of all the boarding schools too.
Wow.
Yeah, visual.
You posted it? You sent
yeah,
it
they
in?
got it.
All right,
Discussions.
perfect. Yeah, we want to have a look at that thing. Come
Book
on.
of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by
Boom,
them.
hold it right there. Hold it right there. And that's what we just heard with all of these mass graves. That was the children of Israel blood being shed.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, come on.
And hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
By the force of the sword. They forced them to learn that education. They forced them to change their language. Okay, go ahead.
In the time of their calamity. In the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right, so they went over and beyond what their punishment should have been. All right, and this is part of it. The way they killed them, and they don't even care. That's why she said we was running out of time. Out of time to go ahead and find out, get documents, and find out exactly what happened to these people. Unmarked graves. All this was documented. They don't know who the people are.
Right.
All right.
You know, the opposite of carelessness, or they took specific care in how they handled the children of Israel, because the scriptures tell us how we were supposed to deal when we got when we got in our land.
Power, right.
We was literally supposed to do what they did to us.
Right.
But now they using it against us, and we don't even understand it.
Right.
So,
The roles are reversed. That's why it talks about it. One of the curses.
Exactly.
You're going to be the tail, and they're going to be the head. So roles are reversed. Even when he talks about the language that, you know, a nation going to come up against you whose tongue or language you don't understand. That was a curse that happened to us. So let's look at this map real quick. All right. Come on, Enos.
Yes, sir. All right. Sorry, it's a little blurry. All right, so this is the map of where all of the boarding schools were located in the whole of North America. So of course it was in Canada, up there at the top. You had it over there on the East Coast. And then as you see when you move over to the left to the West Coast, you have several other ones, like all located throughout the United States. So what they would do is they would take our children and forcibly take them from their home. It could be like they usually want to take them over 20 to 50 miles away, so that way if they got to run, they couldn't. You can't find out where you got to go.
Right. You ain't going to find your people again, your mom
exactly,
or your parents.
Exactly, because there were different tribes all throughout the United States. So the tribes that might have branched off from one tribe. So you didn't know the language, you didn't know, and then you run into Esau, and you never know what Esau finding a so-called Native American would do to him, you know, especially to a kid, put him into slavery.
Got him a slave right there.
Yep.
So this is it. This is an interesting map when you look at how even on the video they talked about how it started in Canada, but then in Nebraska, that's the East Coast, but then on the West Coast now looking where Captain Gardner met over there in Denver and the Colorado and all of those, where Gad is, those reservations and stuff like that, all on that West Coast right there.
That's a good point. I was looking at that. I'm like, all of these are well-known regions where Gad would be.
That's during that time. What is that? Manifest Destiny, when they was just starting to push us, pushing over that way, man.
Right.
And we started settling all those different lands.
And I was gonna say also, officer, you see that bottom left, right, 25, 12. We know what Issachar was mixed in there as well. That's right at the border. So it's touching more than just Gad. They were touching all of Northern Kingdom over here with that.
I got one more link. Go to that link. See who created these boarding schools.
Was it that manifest destiny that you just said?
Yep.
That's a clever way of saying stealing.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Yep. Go ahead. Go to that. So this is the creator of boarding schools. All right. It's Richard Henry Pratt, and he created the Carlisle Indian Industrial Schools. So scroll down to his face so we can see that it is the devil.
Right.
And what they would do, you know how they do in the prison complex, right? They'll put all them brothers to work for. That's exactly what they would do to these Gadite children.
Right.
They will put these children to work for free. For free. So that's the devil right there.
The devil. I mean, this was the first CRT, huh?
Damn. Right.
Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we taught you skills. You know, you enjoyed it.
Right.
They've been at this for a minute, man.
We even gave you a haircut.
Hey, we got another video. You got the next one that we want? The Reckoning.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Now, we want to watch the first 3 minutes of this one. But this is like an extension of the one that we just looked at. Okay, but it's going to get into a little bit more detail, and then we'll expound on it. Go ahead, play that.
A reckoning more than a century in the making.
America hath hidden the truth from America.
As an award-winning NBC News investigative team heads to the South Dakota Badlands and the Pine Ridge Reservation to hear their untold stories.
I don't want to repeat it.
Of children forcibly taken from their homes and abused.
I became a shallow breather, thinking that if I don't breathe loud, I might disappear.
And to uncover painful truths.
Enrich us
I think you just sidestepped my question. To bear witness to an unspeakable chapter in America's history.
They are being rapidly brought from their state of savagery and barbarism to one of civilization.
It's hard to know what genocide is if this isn't it.
Yeah, pause that for a second.
What did he say?
Go ahead, officer.
Yeah, the balls of this man. The audacity.
Yeah.
The caucasity.
Bring it out.
You understand? He said the savage and barbarism right in front of them, like they wasn't even there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you notice, like in the video, they was right behind him. He talking about them like they're animals. Talking about our brothers and sisters like they're animals with him right behind him. That's their pride.
If you look at it, though, officer, they are in a bit of a slave mentality.
Yeah.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So they standing there. What can they do? They have no might. They have no power.
Hey,
that's true.
It was the older gentleman that was in there. Can you scroll back? He had on a hat. I really would love to, because he's going into these people, destroying his people.
Back.
But yet he's wearing a hat that represents the destruction of his own people. Just go back. You ain't got to play no sound or nothing. I just want the picture. The imagery is everything. Because he's basically saying he does not support America.
Right.
But then again, he's saying, I love America.
He got their military on his head.
This is his pride. His pride is being a part of United States military.
Wait, that's
veteran.
That's another one.
Why do he gotta wear a hat that say veteran?
Right.
Come on now, dog.
Keep going.
You know why?
Keep going.
Well, hey, officer, you know why a lot of them wear those hats that say veteran or whatever? Because they want to say, hey, look, I capitulated. I assimilated. I'm a good one. I bought in. I'm a good one.
Yeah,
I'm one of the good ones.
Right.
That one right there.
Now here he come. Right there. Pause.
Yep.
Come on now.
So explain
dog.
what that is, officer. What's on this head?
So he got airborne wings. He up at the top, that shows that he didn't been in combat. Yep. He didn't on the side of it. He didn't receive the award for valor, standing up for Esau's nation.
Right.
Now, and just what the scripture says about Gad in Genesis 49 says, a troop shall overcome him.
Right.
That troop that overcame him is the same troop that he's proudly representing.
That he volunteered for.
He volunteered for that's on his forehead.
Now pull it back with him talking right before him so we can hear what he said all over again. Because he said something like being afraid of being lost or disconnected. Play that.
Taken from their homes and abused.
I became a shallow breather, thinking that if I don't breathe loud, I might disappear.
And to uncover painful truths.
Enrich us
I think you just sidestepped my question. To bear witness to an unspeakable chapter in America's history.
They are being rapidly brought from their state of savagery and barbarism to one of
pause it real quick. And I'll pause it real quick.
State savage.
Go back to the girls that in front of that Edomite. There's a reason that right there. Y'all notice that hair is cut.
Right.
That's how they broke Gadite children.
Right.
They would take them, cut their hair off, give them Christian names. They would write them on a board
and
they
make
would have
them selected, right?
Yeah, and they would have to get up and go to the board and select a name. And then they cut their hair. They wouldn't let them speak their language anymore.
Right.
This is the stuff that they would do to break our kids.
Yeah.
Hey, officer, don't that remind you of how we were to treat the heathens if we broke them during war? If we took them from their land, that's the same tactic.
Cut their hair,
Hey, there's something. We're going to come right back to this. Can I pull a thing on the internet, Wikipedia real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, I just posted a link real quick. The way that he speaks in that video, right? You see how he talks
with the passion.
But from a place of authority. Like
Right.
we have civilized these barbarians.
Right.
And his whole community, they move like that. They would say stuff like this term right here. This type of stuff used to stick as science back in the day. Can we just read this term real quick?
Drapetomania. Drapetomania was a supposed mental illness.
As a what?
Supposed mental illness.
Come on, what is this mental illness?
That in 1851, American physician Samuel A. Cartwright hypothesized as the cause of enslaved Africans fleeing captivity.
So in their communities, it was deemed a mental illness when you was trying to escape
From
enslavement,
being-
from
my
being a
God.
slave.
And
And
that's
that's how they always talk. So they said something like, you got to listen to what these people say, man. They're like, hey.
That's why I said the caucasity, man, because only these people would do something like
Right.
this. This is retarded. You're running away from being beaten, raped, tortured, and you have an issue, you have a mental illness from trying to escape that?
Right.
You better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding.
A lot of our people to this day, when we come into the truth, they treat us like something is wrong with us. But we telling them something is wrong with the system. Something is wrong with how we've been brought up.
Right.
And they don't get it.
Right. Well, Harry Tubman said that too. Go ahead, officer.
Can we read that next piece right there?
Check. This hypothesis centered around the belief that slavery was such an improvement upon the lives of slaves that only those suffering from some form of mental illness would wish to escape.
So there we go. This is Ron de Satan, as Bishop says. This is the Florida education system that they just passed. That for you to even think about your history or to want to know how to come out of the conditions that we're in, something must be wrong with you.
Right.
You got drapetomania.
You know what I'm saying?
Drapetomania.
Right.
That's why we are bored of education.
Bring it out.
I'm telling you, bro.
And going right back to that video that we was just looking at, that's something that he said we had to break them from being savages and make them like back it up a little bit right there.
Domesticate.
Yeah, back it up just a little bit.
From savagery and barbarian.
Yeah,
Barbaric state.
yeah. Play it right there. Play.
If I don't breathe loud, I might disappear.
And to uncover painful truths.
Enrich us
I
in
think you
what
just
we do.
sidestepped my question. To bear witness to an unspeakable chapter in
Here we
America's
go.
history.
They are being rapidly brought from their state of savagery and barbarism to one of civilization.
It's
so
hard
from
to
their
know what
state of
genocide is.
savage and murderism to being like normal citizens now. That's
Right.
basically what he's saying. Right, civilized. Play on.
This isn't it.
Actually, that was it. That was the 3
Hey, officer,
minute
this supports the reality of if there is no such thing as equality.
Right.
It's either we at the top ruling with Christ or we are at the bottom.
Well,
That's
the scriptures tells us that. It tells us
Exactly.
that. And of course, right now we're living the curses and we're at the bottom.
Yes,
and
sir.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, they let us know after all of these things happen to you, then I'm going to put you back in your land, put you over
Right,
the
right,
people.
right. That's
All of
right.
those things will come. But this is a part of the education that they did to manipulate us and to rule over us and to murder and to change our mindset.
Right.
This is the things that they use. All right, so now let's get with Judah. Let's get
real
with
quick,
Judah.
Can I one more thing off
Go
of
ahead.
that? So then y'all gotta remember what happened is after they started to ban these schools, then I believe it was in the 1930s up to the 1970s is when they started doing forced adoptions. So the government would come in to a Gadite sister that was pregnant, and then she would give birth, and then what would happen is the government would be like, yeah, you should give that baby up for adoption. What? What? And she be like, I'm not gonna give my baby up for adoption. No, you're an unfit mother, like how they do to Judas, right? So then what happens is those Gadite children get put into Edomite homes. And now this is where the more of the brainwashing begins. It's all under the legal guise of the government of the United States.
Right. Furthering what we just watched. So that was like the secondary. Years later down, that's what they started doing. So now let's get into the next clip, the Umar Johnson.
All right, so what we was just dealing with now, officer, was Northern Kingdom, Gad. Right? Because Israel is cursed, not just Northern Kingdom, not just the whole nation.
All of Israel
is cursed, man. And so what y'all are going to see, Gad went through that, and if you look at the state of those people now, they have no hope, they have no vision, they just depressed. They got beat into serious submission, man.
This was, like you were saying, this is the history of this. This began basically with the founding of the United States, and one of the first things that they did was they started implementing the education that they wanted for control over us. You know, can I get one quick precept real quick?
You know that old saying, like
Psalms 49:
murder, death, and power. That's what they
yes,
live
sir.
by.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
they
49
live by
and
the
11.
sword. Go ahead.
Hey, I got a question too when you get that precept.
Yeah.
Is this the time that when America was great, that we're trying to make it great again?
You know what I'm saying? You see their founding fathers, you know, on the thought process that they had for America, what would shape America. You know,
That's
ahead.
why you have that, what you call it, Mount Rushmore, with all of their forefathers up there. This who's run this country.
Bruh. Verse 4.
11.
The book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
Hold right there. So they're thinking that when we get in America, we've started pushing the savages. We've started pushing you savages west. Now those that are willing to conform, now let's educate them, because they're thinking that their houses are gonna last forever. So now let's begin the education process. The 100 years that you just brought.
Yep. And Esau got that long game thinking, bro. They don't play. And like Officer said earlier, it ain't different on the other side of the coin with Southern Kingdom. So-called African Americans, blacks in America, right? Same thing happened, right? We went through all that segregation. I'm sorry, yes?
No, go ahead.
So we went through all that getting out of slavery, quote unquote. We got free. We went through Jim Crow laws. We fought for equality. We fought to be assimilated in the system.
The same rights.
Right. We was tired of being segregated. So we fought to get into the schools. You think that stopped with them? No.
Stop being a damn fool.
They just evolved their methods, man. They still segregating us.
And they ways, or with their cunning ways, they came up with new schemes on how to do things.
Yep. All praises.
So now let's look at Umar Johnson speak on this education part right here.
Y'all got the timestamps? All praises.
All right.
Please explain the history of the IEP, Individual Education Program, and how it's supposed to work in theory versus how it works in reality.
Great question. So when we talk about IEP, Individual Education Plan, we're talking about the world of special education. Now, there's three things that automatically go together when we're dealing with IEP. It's a trinity. You can't have one without the others. They are the IEP, a learning disability classification, and special education. If you mention any one of those, the other two are automatically present. Special education is a program that gives the child an IEP because they have a learning disability. No learning disability, no IEP. If you have an IEP, you're in special ed. They all go together. I say that because sometimes you'll hear parents say, my child has an IEP, but he's not in special ed. If he has an IEP, he's in special ed on paper. The school's getting money for his education. He may not be assigned to a self-contained classroom. He may still be in a regular class, but he's still a special ed student. They're still getting paid for him.
What? All right, so that right there is just talking about the IEP program. Now you're like, oh, what's IEP? Y'all don't understand. IEP is big, business. IEP is real big business in school district. All that Title I stuff that you hear about, he's going to go into a little bit of this. What you got to understand, though, is who's predominantly in those programs. Who y'all think is in those programs in these schools? It's all us.
That's right.
It is not the other nations that's sitting in those programs with learning, quote unquote, disabilities or being behind. And this is all part. Y'all gotta understand this school to prison pipeline. How are they achieving that now in 2023 through programs like this? And everybody's, if you sending your kids to school, they get touched by this some kind of way.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, so when you think about this, then you think about like our forefathers. What was they teaching us? You see, this type of education is what he's going into. But what the education we really should be having, of course, remember what the Proverbs say, 22.
Yes, sir.
It said, train up a child in the way it should go.
That's right.
That ain't got nothing to do with this type of education. It's showing you how it destroyed us. Also, by the foods that we eat, the way they changed our minds, the drugs that they put in. All those things help us have to be up under this, what he's talking about.
Right.
That's the education that he's referring to. But, hey, let's read this one real quick, to show you how what he's saying is different from what the Most High God had set before us, right? Give me 1 Corinthians 1, just give me 1:21.
Yes, sir. Let's go. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1 and verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of God, the word by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe.
Right, because, of course, with this education, that's what he's going to be on TV talking about, preaching about. But when we're on the streets and on the TV trying to teach the wisdom that they should have, the education that they should be getting, the way that they should be going,
that's right.
They ain't trying to hear that one.
Exactly.
This one ain't getting funded. You don't have the people donating toward this. You see what I'm saying? How we really want to educate God people.
Right. All praises. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, so let's go to the next timestamp. We're going to go into, well, like I mentioned, that word Title I. He's going to explain that a little bit.
Are not going to double it. So sticking with you as the black principal, do you care about them kids? Because if you care about your students, you're going to make the teachers teach them. You're going to find the money in your budget to get them to after-school tutoring. Mind you, you already get Title I money. You already getting Title I. Title I funds comes out of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, Lyndon Baines Johnson, War on Poverty, 1965. This money is earmarked for children in low-income schools to improve what? Reading and math. What are most black kids in special ed for? Reading and math. So if you're getting Title I money to address reading and math, why are all these children with reading and math problems ending up in special ed where you are already giving money to help them? You know why? Poor oversight of Title I spending and greed. I know I got my Title I money, but I'm going to use that for something else. I want this extra special ed money. It's about greed, and it is about neglect of black children. And here,
man, I'm telling you, bro, this is stuff, I kid you not, bro. Jake do not pay attention to this, bro. Nope. I'm going to tell you, sisters just be trying to send their kids to school, especially in those low income communities. They just be trying to send their kids to school so they ain't got to worry about them for 7 to 8 hours, whatever. Not even realizing this machine that is built around them to keep them in a system of just stupidness, illiteracy, ignorance. It's terrible, man.
And I can say, officer, just me growing up, I know me and my wife was discussing this. Our black parents don't really, for the most part, we don't push excellence in our house. We don't push education in our house. It's, like you said, our parents just send us off to school and hope, right? When we don't, there's well, he has an issue, as opposed to pushing excellence. If my parents required excellence from me, I would have given them excellence, as opposed to them giving us outs at the house, you know what I'm saying, and forcing us to go sports.
Once again, you think about the history that is left for us to meditate on. Is with the woman with the 7 children, with the educations.
Right.
She wasn't teaching them how to go and do certain things like what he's referring to today. Because these things wasn't in existence.
Right.
The getting funded for, I get, a check for the tutoring. No, it wasn't all that stuff. At home, she labored with them. That's why we're pushing homeschooling today.
Right.
For our children to learn how God wants us to operate in this world.
Right. Can I get scripture real quick?
Come on.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 32.
Come on.
I don't know if it was anybody going to touch that yet. Go ahead,
All right, bro. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them.
Read that first part again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
What's happening because of the curses of us breaking the laws of God? Now your children have to go to their schools for 8 hours. They're getting that's just babysitting.
Right.
That's all that's happening. So what do you think is going on? They're not teaching them their full history. They're not teaching them that they're different than everybody. They're not even giving them the proper, like looking after your children properly.
Right.
They rather just throw them in special ed. Oh, he's a problem. All because the color of our children's skin makes a big difference on what education they get, especially in the suburbs. You living in our people will move to the suburbs with Esau. I'm a product of this. We'll move with Esau and let your kids be around Esau all day. And then wonder why your kids don't care about their skin color, care about their history, because you just let them go.
Right.
But that's a part of the curses.
It goes back into them being indoctrinated.
Yes.
Just like we seen with Northern Kingdom. Now he's talking about them being indoctrinated. Judah, the so-called blacks, in the special eds and funding and different things like that. When we don't need those things, all we need to do is guide ourselves and govern ourselves with the laws of God.
Right.
That's what matters. That's what really counts.
We got to teach them who they are before society teaches them who they're not.
Right.
That's
Our children. Say that one more time.
Our children.
It was nice.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Somebody has.
So we got the next timeline?
Yeah. Let's. So now I wanted to get into the next point of that video, which was sales pitching the special education, because it's a sales pitch how they do it. Right. He's gonna touch on that real quick.
Don't understand that special ed is not a solution. I don't fault them for that, because the way they pitch it to you in a way that makes you feel like special ed is the best thing that ever happened to black children. He'll never get left back again. He'll get extra time. He'll get extra time on his tests. We're going to slow down the curriculum. We're going to give him his own learning plan, small group.
I got just one question real quick, right?
You see that? And I'm telling you, bro, I've heard these words. I've seen them talk like that. And what they do is they get into the parent's mind and be like, man, this is going to be great. And the parent's like, shoot, why not? This sounds like this is what my kid needs, right?
Because
Special attention.
It goes into you're offering them something for free. Because when you look at it, what do you got? You got the housing project, the food, all of these different things come with this education.
Yep.
It's all free for them. All right? So those are the things that they like.
To a degree, do they get I think I heard this before, but the parent receive a check.
Right.
That part I don't know. I haven't heard about that. I know the school getting checks.
School getting money.
The school getting checks. I know that much.
Like I say, they target the poor. You see, so they're gonna give them the education. They're gonna give them the housing. They're gonna give them money. They're gonna, of course, like I say, it comes with the welfare type stuff. So those are the ones that they're targeting.
And it's our people that's always in those
single
conditions.
parent households.
And I was gonna say something too. You know, it's that Psalms chapter 55 and 20. You ain't gotta get it, but Psalms 55 and 20, where it says His word was smoother than butter. War, that's an act of war on our people.
It is.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like you said, the mind of Him is deep. That's an act of war. I don't have to pull out a sword. I'm just gonna attack their mindsets and their households.
Right. And like it said in that other video, in that little quote, that education, it says plan for 100 years education children. If you want to plan for it, and they plan to deceive our kids, our nation, for over 100 years. Just like what is it, from Babylon to Timbuktu, if our minds would touch some part of history, of our past history, then we're going to think ourselves and realize who we are.
That's
and
right.
that's what we're doing today. Right?
Yep.
Hey,
That's right.
a thought on what Officer Enos was saying when he read Deuteronomy 28 and 32 about our children, and they're there, and they're there for 8 hours, and then some of them have pre school care. Some of them have the after school care. I mean, you're talking about 10 to 12 hours of indoctrination of your children, and we look at it as Ecclesiastes 7 and 7 real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to I hadn't looked at this scripture lined up with that thought process before.
Right.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 7.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression Make it the wise man mad.
Because we've been oppressed here in this captivity, in this land of Babylon. We've been oppressed. And what has it done? It made a wise man mad.
Right.
We went from the wisdom of the scriptures to now being mad, being confused. Deuteronomy 28:28. Read on.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
And the gift further this
Right.
free education.
Yep.
It just
Destroys
further
the mind.
destroys us.
Officer.
You know,
Free
it destroys
lunch.
the heart.
Ooh,
man, that's
destroyed
right.
our minds, destroyed our future. Now, like you were saying earlier, like our kids don't have no desire, no passion to
Right.
do anything more.
Right.
Because all they've been
Right.
shown is you can play sports, you can go home and play your video game. That's all they know. As far as their mind go.
Yes.
You know, because their mom promised them this, them Christmas, and that's the far as their mind go.
Yep.
But with their education, look, you can go be a lawyer, you can go be a whatever you desire to be. But those desires are not there for them because they don't put that in front of them. Right?
All praises.
And they make it seem like it's not even achievable.
Right.
They start us off with we call ourselves black, African American, Mexican. They give us all of these bywords that mean absolutely nothing.
Right.
So when we go into the classroom, we not thinking about nothing besides,
Exactly.
hey, what is this guy doing over here? All these distractions to just kind of keep our mind going.
Right.
Because the teachers don't give a dang.
Right.
I don't know how many of y'all teachers ever told y'all, but I remember one specifically said, I already got my education.
Yep.
No, that's
I heard
all
that one
teachers.
before.
All teachers.
That's one
say
of their
that.
sayings.
And
That's one of their
and
sayings.
that sounds like a black teacher too. Most black
Miss Bennett,
Thank
sixth
you.
grade,
Black
math
teachers.
teacher.
Black
Oh, snap.
teachers, they do that.
I ain't know my timetable.
Right.
I wanted to ask for help, but I was too
Yeah,
embarrassed.
like I'm not even here to do my job. I already got mine. You know what I'm saying? You need to get one man.
You
Your
remember how
job
they
is
did
to get
Malcolm?
me where you quit.
Yep, that's exactly what they do.
That's black
Those
teachers,
sayings
man, I'm telling you.
are universal. All of them use that,
Yep.
showing you that they don't care about what if you learn it or not, long as I'm getting paid.
Right.
I'm here for a certain
real.
amount of time.
Right.
After that, I'm gone. Of course, you had the certain few that want to call your
Right.
parents and things like that, but for the most part, they ain't give a damn.
Hey, all praise to the Most High for this truth, because I did not start valuing learning until I learned my nationality.
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
That was a part of that education.
You gonna learn today.
Being born
That's right.
again.
That's right.
IT in the spirit.
Let's get to this next timeline.
Yeah. So right now we're gonna get into that. What it calls, and there's a deception about promoting students to that next level. All right, up in each grade and things like that. All right. Let's play that.
Work for failing to give them service.
Great
Turn it up, turn it
question. Are schools required to promote special education students? The issue is this. The IEP team determines what the child is going to learn while they're in special ed. So who technically decides if that child gets retained or promoted? The IEP team. Who's on the IEP team? 4 required people: the parent, the principal or designee, the regular ed teacher, and the special ed teacher. These 4 people meet every year to do a new IEP. The IEP must be done annually because you move up in grade annually, right? So when you meet, you decide as a team, he needs to repeat. That's not likely to happen in special ed for 3 reasons. Legally, can they be retained? Yes. A special ed child can be retained. Absolutely. I've retained them before. But it's not likely to happen. Why? 3 reasons. Number 1, what is the job of the IEP team? To monitor progress. To monitor progress. So if this kid has an IEP and he still can't read or hasn't made reading progress to the point where you have to consider retaining him,
Justify your job.
where was the progress monitor? You got to justify your job.
Damn.
How, at the end of the year, are we talking about keeping them back when the whole purpose of the IEP is the pushing forward? That's number 1. Number 2, when the state and the feds come in to audit your books, if they see too many special ed kids being retained, it lets them know you're not really helping them. Number 3, the teacher who initially referred him for special ed, why did she want him tested in the first place? It wasn't for academics most of the time. It was for behavior. So you mean to tell me you're going to go right back to the same teacher who had him put in special ed and say, we're sorry, Mrs. Slovenberg, he's going to have to repeat 3rd grade. She's going to look at you like you're crazy. The reason I put him in special ed is to get him out my class. And you're telling me I'm stuck with them for another year. That's why special ed kids are rarely retained. And
man, bro,
wow, he said a lot of different things.
Can I speak on something real quick?
Yeah.
Got something?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say with all the things he said. First, I want to say this. I said the Willie Lynch. No, I said I think I said Babylon of Timbuktu, but it was the Willie Lynch. If I would mind, go back and touch something. We'll remember who we are. But in the Willie Lynch, but in the from Babylon to Timbuktu, it talked about how when we was in Timbuktu, when we was in Africa and Ghana and those different places, how we had scientists and those architects. We had all of those type of different people within our nation that it didn't take what he's talking about right now. And then another thing is, you look at Christ, look at Paul. It's the same thing. They was learning about their history, their forefathers. It wasn't talking about Paul got retained or Christ got retained. No, they was learning about their history, and as they got older, they was retaining those things.
Right.
So I know personally, I've seen what he's talking about that behavior thing. I remember one time I lived in a certain area of town where I went, how you go to school and they got like the, what do you call it? The orientation, right? You go to the school, everybody sits in there, y'all meeting the teachers and all that. And I'm sitting in the school. This is what time I wasn't as successful as, I'm a little bit more successful, not a lot. We was going to the school. The teachers and the principal was talking about all the ways that they control the kids and manage the behavior. If they do this, they get, expelled, or we got these type of disciplinary actions. That's what they talked about throughout the whole process of the orientation. I was like, damn, okay, they got these kids under control. So they're watching them. We later moved to an area with a little bit more income tax bracket money to work with, right?
Right.
The entire time, there's a lot of Edomites in this area, just like what Officer was saying. You know what they talked about in orientation? Education.
Right.
This is how we move the kids to this next level. We offer these type of programs. We do this and this. I was like, man, it's a whole different world,
from
man.
Where you came
so
from.
they're big on behavior management for our people because your parents ain't doing stuff or whatever. And so they start putting us in those programs. But then you got the Edomite locations in their suburban areas, and all they focus on is higher education from the youth up. So what happens to these kids when they go through that system? And they start going through all that. What happens to them? They gonna go into that prison
pipeline.
School to prison pipeline.
Right. Hey, I got something on a point that Officer Micah had made. He was talking about how we had scientists, all these different things. Go to that second image I just posted, the second image. This is a really dope documentary. Go to that. This is called When the Moors Ruled in Europe, and it explains all the architecture and different things that we created in Europe. Now go to that image that I just sent above it. This is one example. This is the Kremlin in Russia. We created these things. But then what happens is they put us through these special ed, and you don't think your children could do something like this.
Right.
This was a normal thing for us to have this type of education, to do things like this. Building is still standing. It's what they use for the Kremlin, the capital of Russia, or the government. Like it's kind of like Washington, D.C.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what else you just made me think about too? I think we use it, or at least I use it, with the so-called Black History Month. Is the Black inventors. We could be stupid or crazy, but we can invent all of these different things. It takes a mind to create these type of things. So many different inventions.
Would be no Jiffy without a brother.
Right.
Bring it out. All right. Close that last. Let's get that last timestamp. I think there's only a couple seconds of that. So basically, we're going through the school to prison pipeline.
And I think it's a problem, brother, because we have special ed kids being socially promoted who don't know anything, who go to school in states with a graduation examination. If you live in a state that has a graduation exam and you've been socially promoted all through special ed, when you get to 12th grade, you got to take that test. You can barely read. You know what it does? It automatically perpetuates the school to prison pipeline because you're going to drop out because you can't pass. You don't get a diploma. What is life going to be for that special ed kid who was socially promoted from first grade when he first got his IEP till 12th grade when he failed the graduation test? He don't have a diploma. He's on the street. Drugs, guns. The military not even going to take them if he can't get a GED. And a lot of these brothers we see on the corner selling dope, they were the special ed children who were not academically prepared for life, and they ended up on the street because they had nowhere else to go after they failed the graduation test.
And you made a great point. And one more thing I want to add, that they're spiritually demoralized. They don't feel they can accomplish anything. Because don't get it.
He just said something that maybe with his experience, but with my experience, not everybody that didn't get their high school diploma was in the special ed. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got my GED. Now, I mean, I wasn't in the special ed classes.
Right.
You know, so that's something that he's pushing with his agenda, with his money and, you know, his words of wisdom that he's trying to put out there, that he want people to think that, hey, and the ones that are on the corner, it was the ones that didn't graduate and get their they get through the special ed thing. No, some of us, we just dropped out because influences of the streets. Right. Some of us dropped out because we got caught up because of the street, because we got put out, you know, different things, a lot of different reasons why some of us didn't graduate. It's not just behind the special ed thing.
Right. No, that's you 100%, officer. That's why this is just one of many roots. What is that tree that the eugenics? It's just one branch of many that they do to attack our people. Man. It's just one of many. So, but I know this is a big chunk too also that hits a lot of our people, and then those that you said that don't make it through. Right. Some other folks, they're able to get into higher education and they still get touched by this thing, by the branches.
I seen one though on an article that we're gonna look at with that higher education part, but I didn't save it. I might get it after the break. He said that it was a black guy too. He went from, I want to say, he was a dropout, and now he's like a president of a company. So that education really, it do for in certain aspects get you there, but in certain things you don't have to have that to get in certain parts of your life.
Right. What's the top G dude Tate?
Andrew Tate.
Right. So I saw a clip of him. He was saying he dropped out. Right. He said most of the billionaires he knows, all of them never graduated high school. He's just saying you go to school to learn education that you're not going to use. Right. As opposed to us going to school and actually being beneficial. Like you said, in Babylon and Timbuktu, we were architects, doctors, scientists. But it was multiple things that you needed to shape a society, to build a society. And those are things that we were learning. But in Esau's education system, we're just learning his history for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah, and doing my research, just to land back off what Officer Josh was saying, doing research for this, looking up different articles, they were saying that how the U.S. education system was greatly influenced by the need for big businesses to just have more workers. So they weren't trying to create thinkers. They were just trying to create people who could just follow orders, who could do tasks, menial tasks.
At the beginning of the video, he said that it could be some children that have an IEP, but they're not in special ed. And it was making me think, I'm like, okay, so if they're not in special ed, then that means they're in classes. They're in regular classes with everybody else. They just not getting it.
Right.
And the school is receiving money for it. But so they just keep on going grade by grade by grade. Nobody's ever teaching them, and then they put them out on the street.
Yep, because on paper they're IEP.
Damn. Right. All right, so look, we came up to halfway through the show. We're going to take a commercial break.
All right.
And we will be back. Stay tuned, Israel. And we are WCO!
Where'd all these different faiths come from? Well, there are a lot of man-made religions out there. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit after the tradition of man. What man? The white man.
In Europe, in the time of the Renaissance, they start whitewashing all the dark images in Spain, in Portugal, in Russia, and all these places. And archaeology could show today, we got the records showing that there were black images all over Spain, all over Europe. Okay, why? Because the Christians over there at that time, they were all black. Being a Christian, you are the following of Christ. You keeping the Passover, New Moon,
Sabbath, all that make a big difference. In Christianity, they keep none of what the Bible says.
The Jews have always been black.
So the true early Christians maintained faith in Christ along with Jewish law.
It is very important for us to come out of what we don't belong in and come back to what God actually made.
Brothers, sisters, let's all of us come out of the Christian church now.
It looks more like a military group than anything else, but I'll read what they have.
You said something about it looked like something.
An army.
What make you say that?
Because look, it's like military style.
Why do you support Kyrie?
I'm pretty impressed. I heard it from about a mile away, so I had to come over.
Okay.
How many men?
Uncle was there where you left. Your auntie was there where you left. Cousin was there where you left. Brother was there where you left. Sister was there where you left. Father, your mother, your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, your brother, your sister was there where you left. 12 tribes! 12 tribes! 12 tribes!
There's something that was said that has never been done or seen before. Unity of our people. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. Is that right, brothers? We are the Israelites the Bible speaks of, and we will not apologize. We're going to teach this truth come hell or high water. Christ said the gates of hell shall not prevail against us. I want everybody to understand that. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 3, the Lord said, endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Let's hear it. Unity! 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 And we will not ever bow the knee or apologize. So at that, brothers, who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king? 12 tribes! 12 tribes! 12 tribes! 12 tribes! Unity! 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 Who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king?
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all for staying tuned. And we are back with
WCO.
All right. And what we're going to get into right now is Name That Tribe.
Bring it out.
Name that tribe.
Let's get it up there, IT. Let's get it up there. All right, Israel.
Yeah, we did. Y'all so funny. They play. Shout out to IT, y'all. Here we go, man. Hey, where's it? Tag them, Officer Joshua.
Yes, sir.
That's too funny, man. That's too funny. They
So
played
he
the whole
say they
video.
don't have
IT,
it.
where was the video gonna come from?
Hey, name that tribe of the tech team right now, y'all.
Yeah, I made it back there from Judah.
Hey, somebody better check their lineage.
Hey, what school y'all go to, man?
Hey,
Is
they
that
got
board of
educated back there.
It was Board of Education.
Now they supposed to learn from us, but I don't know who they've been learning from.
Damn.
It's the most recent one at the bottom.
Yeah, bro.
Now IT, they've been doing such a great job,
But
not today.
Right.
Did y'all find it?
They got it. They got it.
All right, come on, let's get it. One more time.
Okay, one.
So now, in this part of the segment,
one.
Israel, in this part of the show, we're going to go to Name That Tribe.
All right. What do we have behind door number one?
All right,
Y'all
finally.
IT team,
After
man.
we done sweated up here, great drops of blood, and, come on. Y'all got us on the spot now.
Now let's get that
Come
name.
on
that
now,
tribe.
dog.
There we go. Round two.
I know, right? Who is this, y'all? I always like to blame it on Ruben.
Oh, damn! I tell you who it ain't. It ain't Judah.
It ain't Judah, dog.
It ain't Judah.
It ain't Judah, baby.
Yo,
All right, last round. Like the rodeo.
look at his neck,
Three
man.
strikes and you
Neck.
out. Oh!
Bro, that judge,
pull that
that's
thing
judgment.
down. That's good, IT. Pull it down.
That's judgment from the Most High. Damn.
That's either
What the
Simeon
comments
or
say?
Who you think? Who you
Simeon
think?
or-
Let me
that
tell you,
is?
hey, me and officers occur we part of the Judah.
Oh, the Judah delegation.
The
We're,
lineage.
we're not at the head of the Judah delegation, but we part of it. And we come to the conclusion that it ain't Judah, baby.
That ain't Judah.
We wouldn't have been at that rodeo.
Right,
Hell no, we don't go to who
We
been on
wouldn't have been
rodeo?
there.
Anybody?
Nah, I ain't
We
gonna
don't go to
lie.
no damn rodeo.
They do that down in Houston, man.
Yeah, they got black rodeos.
Yeah.
Well, shit, it wasn't
Oklahoma,
many black folks there.
Hey.
But who y'all say it is? What you say, Zakor?
Shoot.
I'm just going on the strength of that failed backflip.
That's a Dominican.
All the best gymnastics I know, gymnasts are from Judah.
That's right.
That's
Hey,
right.
that's right. We be flipping
jumping
in the
on
hood.
hard.
We flipping the hood.
Mattresses.
Hey.
We
Flip off
Judah
mattresses.
don't miss no backflip like that,
That's
bro.
one of them damn Dominican that was throwing them balls at each other. That's definitely
Never
a
tell it.
Dominican.
We'll get this one to Zebulon.
Damn.
All right.
That hurt, man. I know.
Hey,
She need to see the chiropractor after that one, bro.
it was at this moment.
That looked like a wound.
There wasn't no she.
Yeah.
That was a man?
No,
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully that wasn't.
Please don't tell me
Yeah.
Hey,
that
play it
was.
one more time.
that's
Let's
a flashback from camp right there.
Oh man!
No
Tell your story.
brother.
Tell your story, bro. Tell your story. Bro.
Hey,
That ain't no come on,
Play
bro.
it one more time.
Hey,
Somebody said, hey, the comments saying Benji.
Somebody said Benji.
Yeah, now they saying Dan.
Oh yeah, let's blame that
Hey,
one
that's
on
a
Dan.
Bati boy.
Dan, you got it.
That's
Dan.
a Bati boy if I ever seen
Gully.
one.
Gully Queen.
Hey, nah, because living in Austin, you see all kinds of weird stuff. That looked like a dude I seen today at the bus stop.
That look
Why
like
they
a
giving
dude.
it to
Like a
him?
dude
Why
we
they-
seen that camp that went off on Officer Asa Hill.
It might be Dan.
Why they giving
It might
it
be
to
Dan.
We'll give it to Dan.
Why they giving it to
Yeah.
Ruben?
Look at Benji. Look at Benji.
Hey, you know something real quick.
That is
Hey.
not a Ruben
Benjamin
choice.
always throw Dan in the mix.
No, look.
Anytime.
Let me get. Can I get a precept? Keep the video up. I just want to get a precept. Genesis 49, real quick.
Benji be standing behind Dan like this.
Yes, bro. Anytime. It's a
Genesis, just Genesis 49:17. I'm gonna butcher it just a little bit for the sake of the
He's about
video.
to try to defend Benji.
It might be Dan, bro. It might be Dan.
We know what's coming.
Don't eat it. Officer.
Book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 11.
No, 49 and verse 17.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse's heel.
So what?
So that his rider shall fall backward.
Look, damn! That's Dan right there, man.
Hey, I like that one, officer. I like that one.
Hey, Dan got it today, dude.
Dan.
Wow. All right. Dan got that one. All right. So Israel, whatever y'all think, that's who it was. We're gonna go with Dan here at WCO.
Hey, bro, we're gonna go.
Somebody said Dan.
Thus saith the Lord.
Hey, somebody said Dan is a part of Benji.
Hey, look.
But look, when Benji have his day, Benji gonna have to eat it. Hey, Benji gonna have to say that was us. Gonna have to accept it. Judah do it all the time. All right,
Hey,
so
right, one chapter.
All right, on officer right here. What you got, officer?
in this part of the segment, we're gonna go into the folly in education, the education system.
So there's folly in it, officer?
Yes, sir. A whole lot of. We've been seeing it. We've been seeing a lot of it already.
Wow.
The way they just said they made them like from savages to now they can get along in this
civilized.
Yeah, they made them civilized. So that's already showing you it's folly in it because they already was thriving before they came over here. Before Esau came over here, man.
Right.
So it's already showing you it's folly. Another quick example of their folly is look how many died in their boarding schools. It's folly in that stuff. They supposed to educate you. What death got to do with that? With education? It shouldn't. It shouldn't be in the midst. So. All right, so pull up that first link.
Hey, we got to remember the so-called white woman was right there in those boarding schools. Wicked.
Yeah. Yep.
Wicked.
All right. You're right. Come on, pull that first one up. Dad confronts teacher. This is the folly in the education. Watch this.
Good morning. Yeah. I'm telling you, yeah, she called me and told me that she had an issue up here about my grandson being in a dress. I mean, I'm trying to see what the issue is about that.
Okay, you'll have to talk to Dara.
Who's
She's the
Dara?
director. She's down in the other classroom.
Is she the one that was in charge of the kids while my grandson?
I was, but I can't talk to you.
Why?
Because you're not on the form. So we'll have to get Dara up here and see if she will let you. Talk to you about it.
I mean, first of all, I'm coming down here because we don't do that. The transgender and all that. We don't do that.
I understand. I don't need.
And I don't appreciate you encouraging him to put on no dress for the second day too. I don't appreciate that. And don't think this is going away. I'm going further with this.
Okay, you can go down and talk.
No, I'm not done talking to you. I'm letting you know the next time that you put any kid in a dress, we're gonna make you go viral.
Okay, you need to go talk to my director because I, as a teacher.
No, I'm letting you know I got an issue with you about that. I'm not playing with you.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But you should have called me before you made the decision to put my grandson in a dress.
Okay, you can speak to the.
No, I'm speaking to you.
Please do not talk to me in that tone with my children.
I wouldn't be up here if you wouldn't have put my grandson in no dress.
Right.
Well, do what you got to
Take it
do.
up with Miss
No,
Dara.
I'm taking it up with you.
Please lower your voice. You're in a classroom.
I'm
with
taking it up
children.
with you. Well, you shouldn't have put my grandson in no dress.
These two.
This ain't over with, all right?
Right.
Wow. So as you can see, as we know that is called strange apparel. He should not be dressing like that. And he realized that. Even though him without God laws, he realized, look, that's folly in that. And this little pre-K school, whatever they're at, look, this is not right. This is wrong. And he confronted them about that thing. He's very upset. He have really every right to be. But according to the scriptures, no.
Did y'all see that cross that they had in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that
I guess that's a good Christian kindergarten or pre-K.
That's a pre-K, bro. They are grooming. That's what I was looking at. I'm like, at first, I'm like, what kind of classroom is this? And then, because she said, you got to call my director. I'm like, schools don't have directors.
Right.
Daycares
That's a Christian
have
daycare.
directors.
Right.
Hey, I was gonna say also he said for the second day.
Right.
You understand? I caught that too. He said for the second day you put my son in my grandson in a dress.
That goes right back to the thumbnail that we have. You seen the cross or
That's right.
Jesus in there?
Yes.
You seen the school bus in there?
Damn.
Look at that.
That's spiritual, bro.
So Board of Education, here they go, gonna have a supposed to be a Christianized school, but then they got the cross dressing in there.
Hey, looking at this thumbnail. Go back to the thumbnail real quick. All right. To the right of Caesar Bow, you got a classroom with a teacher and little ones. And what's the subject matter in the background? Wickedness.
Yep.
Right. Different spirits of evil.
Yep.
LGBTQ.
Yep.
You know, whatever. Just name it. The teaching of the education.
Yep.
For these young minds.
Corrupting
our young minds
Right.
with spiritual wickedness.
Hey, let's get this one. Y'all made me think of something with that changing of kinds and wisdom of Solomon. I believe it's 1426. That's exactly what they're doing. Because the more, if the grandfather, as he said, my grandson, if the grandfather wouldn't have came in there, they'd have kept doing it every day. Now he's conformed into, it's normal to him. Just like that Madonna got that, that boy in that dress.
Now,
it's normal to him now.
And I was going to say, officer, not only her, most Edomite celebrities do that. They
Right.
adopt our kids and indoctrinate them, and it's only the boys that they do that to. Put them in, emasculate them and put them in dresses. Crazy out here.
Read Wisdom of Solomon 14, start at 25.
Yes, sir. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 25. So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter.
So that what they was doing, of course, I got to go all the way back to the first video that we showed when they said, look at all these mass unmarked graves.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Manslaughter, theft.
And we know what they did. They move a landmark, and then they put their own names right there. All of the things that they did came over here and just tortured, murdered, genocide all of the Native Americans, right? Go ahead.
And dissimulation. Corruption.
Dissimulation with Judah, Northern Kingdom, and Southern Kingdom. Dissimulation. They made all of these things with us. Go ahead.
Unfaithfulness.
Oh, back up.
I'm sorry. Corruption.
Corruption. The corrupt education.
Right.
That's what they brought forth. Go ahead.
Unfaithfulness. Tumults. Perjury.
Come on.
Disquieting of good men. Forgetfulness of good terms.
Forgetfulness of good terms. They don't know how to go about doing things according to the Bible.
Right.
They got the Christian cross in there, but then they letting the little boys cross dress.
Bring it out.
Come on, man. Read.
Defiling of souls.
Defiling of souls. They're defiling us here in Babylon. Go ahead.
Changing of kinds.
There, go right there. Changing of kinds. Without you even knowing, they're putting your kids in cross dresses.
Officer, I was going to say another point, too, with the disquieting of good men. So anytime you speak out against wickedness or sin, you demonize.
Right.
You understand? Anytime you speak out against the alphabet community, right? You're posted as a demon. Also, at the bottom of the precept, it says shameless uncleanness. There was no shame in these people putting our young boys in dresses.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And I think about what T.I., where he not want his daughter to be defiled.
Right.
The whole world looked at him like, man, who the hell you think you are?
And they, like
let her do what she want to do.
And that was a good thing. I don't want my daughter, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they disquieting him, trying to paint him out to be a demon for that.
Right. And remember, what they're doing now in these schools is you come off the bus, you go into the school, they got a little box.
Yep.
With different kind of clothes, boy, girl, anything that child wants to put on, they can put on. They can transform for the day,
right?
Without the parent knowing.
Dang.
So it's that dude. Thankfully, that guy he was able to find out that his son that was happening.
Yeah.
But then what happens after school? They say, all right, put your clothes back in the box. And don't tell mommy.
Yep.
Bro, that's great.
We just playing makeup or however they say dress up.
Yeah, dress up. Yeah.
This is.
And I was going to say, they let them do that up until the age where they get to 15, 16, where, you know what, Mom, I'm older than them now. I don't
make
have to
my
listen
own
to you.
decisions.
I can make my own decisions now. Right. This is me. This is who I am. No, that's who you were made to be.
Right.
I really hope the parents are listening because you are paying top dollar at these daycares.
Right.
I didn't heard the most. I think I didn't heard $500 a week. You paying $500 a week for your child to be indoctrinated with lies.
Right.
The hell is this?
That's what's happening. Hey, read 26 and 27.
Verse 26. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good terms, defiling of souls, changing of kinds, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all sin, of all evil.
And that's the seizure bourgeois. And that's their cross, and that's their religion, and that's their education.
Bring it out.
That's the beginning of it. And then from now, what do you have? The way they language was changed, the image was changed, their character was changed.
Right.
Everything was changed about them. The way they raise their kids now.
Right.
We all jacked up here in Babylon.
You right.
That's right.
You right.
We all jacked up, man. All right, so we had one more clip after this one. So we just seen with this following education with the father, right, caught them dressing his grandson up and cross-dressing in a dress. Now let's see what else going on in his education. What's going on while his kids are being taught. All right, play that.
How do you feel about LGBTQ pushing their agenda on the youth?
There is no agenda. You are speaking to the LGBT.
I feel as though that's great. I feel as though every child should be gay.
Yeah, I think every single child
I'm actually
on Earth.
gay, and I'm studying to be a teacher right now, and I'm going to make every child in my class gay.
Wow.
What? Say, I'm going to make every child in my class gay.
The devil!
Hey.
That made my heart drop.
And
we just read it. They're changing of kinds. They're shameless and uncleanness.
Right.
The beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil starts right there with their education.
Yep.
And the person sound like that was doing the interview sound like they didn't even know that they was talking to LGBT or whatever it's called.
Look, all I saw right then was just that scene on Get Out where she was like, no. Like that's what I saw. Like she said, you're speaking to the
Right.
That was creepy to me. Like my child talking like, what?
They 17
Like,
years
wake
old
up!
making their own decisions. That's where it go into. You can't discipline anymore. The kids could call the police on you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Can I get another quick video, officer?
Yeah.
Hey, I just tagged y'all in another one. Pull that Instagram up video real quick. So that was just a teacher, right? You may think, oh, it's just a few bad apples. Imagine if that mindset was in the school. Was it a principal? Let me see. Let me make sure I speak right. If the principal was thinking like that, how do you think the rest of the staff is going to operate with that, right?
That's the head of the operation. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go, Ciroc, right? That's
Exactly,
right. As
bro.
is the judge, so is the officer.
Y'all got that? Watch this, y'all.
An Oklahoma school district is
Whoa, wait, hold up, go back.
No,
Whoa, go back.
Whoa, wait a minute.
And the only reason why I'm bringing this out because of our brother over here.
Nope, don't do that, man.
Don't
do
do
that.
Hold on.
I just wonder if you could speak on this intelligently. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I was
no,
gonna
I'm
hold
not
on, hold
gonna-
on. This
I'm not
brother
about to
is
do
on
that.
his second or third lease here. Let it go, brother. You in Austin.
Bruh, I'm not doing. No, we're not gonna do that. Let's roll the video. IT, come on, man.
There you go, IT.
Stay in the spirit, IT.
Put the light on him.
It's the same guy.
All right, let's
Man,
run that,
y'all
y'all.
gonna play
Let's get it.
Oklahoma
Let's
like
get it. Let's get it, y'all.
Oklahoma school district is defending its decision to hire a drag
Turn it up.
queen as a school principal.
Wait, run that back.
Yes, that's true. It's not satire. School district is defending its decision to hire a drag queen as a school principal. What? Yes, that's true. It's not satire. Dr. Shane Brent Murnham, who was previously arrested on child pornography charges, is now the principal at John Glenn Elementary. The school defended its decision, saying that it followed usual hiring practices. And despite Murnham's now expunged criminal record, the school touted the principal's, quote, outstanding reputation as an educator. Murnham admitted to his bad choices on his drag page on Facebook, but he added that teaching kids has been a rewarding experience. Meanwhile, on Sundays, Murnham performs at a gay bar featuring farcical church services and drag queen magic.
So
What the hell is even that?
yeah, your kids is not safe in the school, man. I'm gonna just tell you
Hell
straight
no.
up, bro.
Hell no.
If they escape the boarding school, the IEP demons and all that, they got to deal with this.
That's level 3.
Hey.
Bro, like it just don't stop, man.
I know how he got past the system. What happened was he did the child pornography when he was a man. So then, but then under his new name, under his new identity, he's not
transformed.
He transformed. That's what happened. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Brothers are speechless. Y'all all right?
Yeah. I really am.
That was scary. That was pretty scary.
It's like that little rainbow monkey. I'm not gonna say the real name for it.
Yeah,
Remember that rainbow monkey?
Yeah.
And they had it in that library.
Yeah, no, here it come.
Oh.
Come on, play this one. Play this one. The next one that we had lined up.
Oh God.
Then the doors
There we
burst
go.
open. The king and queen walked through. There's our precious daughter. If they did not know
Jesus
what love
Christ.
meant, who would?
And a big bad puppy.
Drag Queen Story Hour is really just people reading books to kids. There's no underlying mission. It is nothing more than having someone come in, read books to children, and make them feel welcome and included.
Remember learning how to walk? I remember learning how to walk, but it was with these shoes on. Friends and news. It turns out I'm not a narwhal. Of course you are.
And I never had specifically, like for myself, like a role model or someone to look up to at an early age to say it was okay to be gay, to be a drag queen, to be, whatever I wanted to be. So that's why I think it's important to be here today, to show the kids that, there is someone that you can look up to and you can be who you want to be.
I think it's just important that he sees this as something that's normal, it's accepted, it's not
She don't believe that.
And if I just keep taking him to events like this, it's just going to be a part of life.
Everybody say love.
Love.
Yay.
You know what I didn't see in that video?
Right.
You
Go
know
ahead.
What I didn't see in that video was a father.
Right.
That's what I didn't see in that video.
Can I?
Real quick. Give me Genesis 1:27.
Jesus.
Genesis
1:27.
Sorry, y'all. He got stuck.
Because what we just seen is you can be what you want to be. That's what he said. Nobody. I had no one show me this and show me that and how to be this or that. But you are directly going against the nature that God created you to be.
Right.
Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
How he created them?
Male and female created he them.
Now go to chapter 5 and verse 2. So he said, chapter 5 and verse 2, male and female created he them.
Right.
All right, come on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 5, verse 2. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created.
Right, so you can't change that. The changing of kinds is what America do today, but it was not so in the beginning. So we can't change our kind just because how we feel, our emotions, because how the world transform our mind to want to be conformed into this world. No, we're going to do it. And that's what they're doing. The young lady said, there's no harm in what they're doing. Oh, you're a dang gonna lie. It is harm in what you're doing. You're changing their mind to change their kinds.
Right.
That's what you're doing. You're pushing this agenda on them by their appearance. Remember, you can teach people by your actions.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. Just because they're reading a book doesn't mean that it stopped there. Look at how you're appearing to them when you're reading this book, man.
Right. Look, show this what they look like.
God,
That's what they look like. God.
Man,
That's what they do.
Wow. Man, kids is
Go ahead.
Kids is some of the most honest people. I'm surprised none of them kids called them dudes ugly as hell.
Now look, they
been
probably
scared.
ain't played.
Right.
Cause they scary.
Right.
I used to you scaring me.
Hey, officer, can I get one precept real quick?
Yeah.
Let's get Ecclesiastes 7:29. Just to land back from Genesis. Also in Wisdom of Solomon, it said, thus over the process of time, an ungodly custom had grown strong.
Right.
She said, eventually I want my son to know this is normal. Please. Well, no, sis, it ain't normal.
Right.
Let's get that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that God have made man upright.
God made man what?
Upright.
That means male and female.
Right.
Right? Everybody has their roles. Genetically, physically, emotionally, you are a man, bruh.
That's it.
But they have sought out many inventions.
What's one of those inventions? The LGBT or
Right.
the alphabet community.
Transformer.
He said, I learned how to walk too in knees. So that means you already knew how to walk. You relearned something just
Bring it
now.
out.
You already knew how to walk when you was 2-3 years old. So now he's saying, I learned how to, I
Yeah.
just relearned something new.
Right. You got in that lifestyle, and now here you are trying to educate people with that same lifestyle that you're into.
Right.
That board of education.
Somebody else's kids.
Yeah.
You ain't got no kids, and you trying to.
No, he don't want no kids.
Come on now, dog.
Nah, you don't want no dang on kids.
Ooh, boy.
He don't want.
That way.
All right.
We gotta reset.
Yeah, I know. We gotta get our minds right, but that was,
not going
that's a little rough, y'all. We took a hard left on that.
I just posted a video, just to touch on the folly in the education system.
Okay.
On the other side of the spectrum, the heterosexual side of the spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah, let's play that real quick.
I'm scared, bro.
Hey, you should be. I'm glad my kids ain't this old yet.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Go ahead. Let's get that.
Red performing Pound Town at school.
What?
Yeah. This
The
why.
title alone just messed me up.
That's what I'm saying. Let's get that real quick. All right, so pause. Whoa, go back. We're going to start it over. For those who don't know, this is this new and upcoming rapper in the world named Sexy Red, okay? I believe she's an industry plant to make black and Hispanic and Native American women fall. You understand? Straight up, because it ain't nothing good about this. Now, the song that she got out now is called Pound Town. We could Google the lyrics, but it's very, very vulgar. But they got her performing this at a high school. She went back to her high school she graduated from, and this is what she go back to talk to them about. Play that.
She must have learned it at school.
Now y'all see all these kids. These are high school kids. And they going crazy. They mobbing her, rapping her lyrics. You understand?
That's what
Like,
they bring
right.
into the education.
That's what I'm saying. Pound
They bring
Town.
it in there.
They did that same thing with your boy, what's his name? Nas X, right? Because he used to go to all them schools. And
Same thing.
And they got him hooked to that, and that dude just went crazy
He
with
was
it.
doing story time too.
Yep.
It was when I was in middle school, they had I believe their name was called H-Town. They came back and they was doing that.
Knocking the boot.
Yeah, them.
That's crazy.
To middle school kids.
That's crazy.
Knocking boots to middle
What?
school
That's
kids.
crazy.
And shouting out their little cousin, hey, I see you, such and such. Hey, I see you. Why they singing their little songs?
Talking about
They brought
Wow.
that into the education.
I'm saying, what
Wow.
benefit is this to high schoolers? She's coming back rapping Pound Town.
Community relations.
Like, what's going?
But see,
What?
but Joshua, just like he just said, though, community relations. Once again, they allow this type of stuff to come in, but the education that we want to give them, they're not allowing this in. So that's a heavy point, Zakar.
That's the disquieting of good men.
Right.
Like just what you read in Wisdom of Solomon. It's crazy.
Right.
This stuff make you want to go out on the street. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
But remember, these are the devices that we're up against. These are the strongholds that we're up against.
Right.
So that's why the strips have that in there. We have to build ourselves on, put on the whole armor guard, and pull these type of things down that are in our people's mind.
Right.
That's right.
All right.
The principal gave the clear for that.
That's what I'm saying. This is disturbing.
It goes like what you earlier, the principal being the drag queen. Principal would probably listen to Sexy Red.
Mm-hmm.
Principal Demon.
And they cleared off on it.
Or probably have some of those dark thoughts within their mind, and they let that come in. But
Right.
nevertheless, one more segment. Let's go to the higher education useless.
Wow. So check this out. So if you survive this onslaught of drag queens, IEPs, boarding schools, or whatever, and you somehow make it through all that, the streets, everything.
Right.
And he said, you know what? You're going to be that one that make it out there, the 5 out of 1,000, right?
It's another level.
Now what you going to do? Now you're going to go to college, right? Everybody try to go to college, get a degree and all that type of stuff. Do you think the attack stopped there? No. This is called Board of Education. It goes all the way up through college, y'all.
Right.
So let's get that. You want to get that 5 things, right, officer?
Yes.
All right, let's
yes.
get this article, y'all.
The Hetchinger Report. 5 things American colleges need to do to help Black and Latino students.
Right. Go ahead.
Want to read that subtitle?
I wanted the first 2 paragraphs.
First 2.
Can y'all zoom in a little more? Yeah.
Start with that.
Yes,
No. Yeah, read the one above it.
Yes, sir. As high school seniors preoccupy themselves with college decisions.
So now this is the next level the officer's talking about. If you get past all that elementary, preschool with the dad grandfather getting upset, and you get past the Cardi Reds or whoever it is, all these, I don't know these people, man.
Yes, sir.
You get
All
past
praises.
them in your high schools, and now you move on to make a decision to go to college. Come on.
As high school seniors preoccupy themselves with college decisions, graduation parties, and summer jobs, some may be grappling with a nagging thought in the back of their minds. Am I smart enough to succeed at the University of X?
Now, how many people were plagued with that when they went to college? And then not only that, they might have went, but how many got their degrees that went?
Right.
Why? Because of that thought right there. All of the loopholes and stuff they had to get through, not loopholes, all of the pitfalls, trials they had to get through to get there, now they still got this thought in the back of their mind. Go ahead.
That question may be even more acute for Black and Latino students.
That's what we want to get to. See, this is who the target is for, right? With this next level we're referring to. Read it again.
That question may be even more acute for Black and Latino students whose track record of success is decidedly mixed at many institutions.
Come on.
Particularly in areas like math and science.
Come on.
In addition, Blacks and Latinos have been getting further behind whites and Asian Americans when it comes to earning bachelor's degrees, a recent report found.
You see that? They're getting more and more behind with getting their bachelor's degrees because they dropping out.
Man, officer, I was gonna say that. Me and my wife discuss education all the time for our kids. You know, just because Officer Zakur said, now I value that, right? But when I was in school, that was one of my two toughest subjects: math and science.
Right.
Reading, history was easy. Reading was easy, right? But that math and science, and all you really need is for you to value that thing. Push excellence in your house. Make your children study, right? As opposed to thinking they'll get it. But those 2 subjects always plague our community,
Right,
math
and
science.
you know what's heavy about those subjects? They really are centered around engineering,
right,
manufacturing,
right,
these type of things. These are things that it helps to establish a society.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, even on that higher education level, they're inhibiting our ability to learn these special trades and skills to be able to build our own society.
Right.
I mean, they're hitting us from every angle, man. It's
Hey,
not
officer,
even
get a
funny.
liar. I was talking to an Elamite, and going on to what you're talking about engineering, he was explaining how they're introduced to engineering in like middle school.
Wow.
So then what happens is the reason why you see all of them you hear all of them at call centers, it's not because they couldn't cut it in life. They all went through engineering in university. That's when they go to college, that's the only subjects that they're able to study is some type of engineering. So a lot of them graduate, like over 3 million of them a year graduate with the engineering degree.
So basically, too many of them are educated in that field. So that's crazy.
So
and
the job market's saturated with engineers.
Right. And what do our kids go to middle school learning?
Play basketball.
Wow.
No, they gotta go see Sexy Red rap Pound Town in the gym.
That's good stuff. You
That's
got
crazy.
more on this, officer? We keep reading on.
Yes, I think it had like a roll up. Let's get it back up there. Nope. Roll it. Keep going. I think it's 3 points at the bottom. You're seeing in bold. Not that one. Give me the third one. Read that one. Hold up, roll it. No, keep going. Read that third one. There we go.
Number 3,
This is one of their goals.
Number 3, make the success of Black and Latino students a campus-wide priority instead of relegating the issue to a small, isolated office.
Right. So they see that it's a big issue with them. So this is one way they want to try to combat it. Instead of going to an office, they wanted to put it on a broader scale. Matter of fact, roll back down to the second one. Yeah. This is, once again, these are the things that they want to try to do because they know that the ratings are low with them dropping out and stuff like that, not getting their education. Read that one.
Number 2, encourage students to study together and to support each other.
Right. Roll it back down to 1. Come on, read that one.
Number 1, view student failure as a problem with the institution, not the student.
Right. Right. So that's what they're trying to do when it comes to this education with the blacks and Latinos.
So they make it seem like it's the student
Right.
that's the problem and not the institution.
That sounds like IEP.
Yep.
Right. They try to reverse that thing. Right. All right. Hey, give me the last thing that I just posted. I just posted something in the chat. Pull that up real quick. It's another article on the black education.
Right. And then they just, and what was it, in June, they just done away with the, what is it, the affirmative action.
That's the one.
Oh, that's what this is? Okay, all praise.
No, that's not what. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So the few people that were able to get some type of, breaks or whatever to make it in there due to that affirmative action, now they done took that away.
Right.
Now you
right.
can't even. That's sad, man.
So here's some things that they want to say are benefits. Read.
Black students are less likely to attain college degrees because of discrimination and external responsibilities, studies find.
Right. So it's the one big main key in there is the discrimination. Right. With this this education. It's supposed to be, how they said, one nation under God and all that stuff.
Right.
But why is there still discrimination in our education?
And officer, just like you said, one nation under God, the next word after that is what? Indivisible.
Right.
That means there's no division going
It's
on
not
here, but it's
supposed to be.
constant division
Right.
here in Babylon.
Right. All right. We don't want to read any of these articles. We can read it on our own. But no. Put it back up there. Put it back up there. I want those highlighted points that are in bold. Roll it up till you find that. Each point that they make. No. I'm sorry. Take that one down. Give me that next one. The next one is 6 benefits of higher education. Yes. These are the ones we want to. They made 6 points. We want to read this, officer.
Yes, sir. Where are we starting?
Right there.
All right. The importance of higher education on black youth. 6 benefits.
Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see that. Thank you.
We can read that first paragraph and then we'll read.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The gap. So roll it down. Roll it down again.
The importance of higher education on black youth. The gap between female and male enrollment is widest for African American students, according to a 2018 National Center for Education Statistics report. Considering black students are already underrepresented.
You see that? They are already underrepresented in higher education. And that's what this part we're talking about right here. What is this higher education can do for us? A lot of them don't barely make it to that level.
Right.
Go ahead.
This shows a concerning absence of young African American men in college.
Right, because there's so many traps that catch them up, they don't get to that level. They don't have the desire to go to college and to further their education. Go ahead. The 6 benefits now.
6 benefits of higher ed for African American boys. Number 1, expanded career options.
Right. So that's one thing that they're trying to say to help them get there. They want to expand their options. Read the next one.
Number 2, higher earning potential.
Once again, we are already behind the ball when it comes to these things.
Right.
These opportunities are not out there for us.
Right.
Go ahead.
Number 3, transition to a young man.
Transition to a young man. Once again, we know the scriptures tell us how to transition from a young man. But they're not teaching the youth these type of things.
Right.
And that's where the problem lies right there with their education. Come on.
Number 4, improved confidence.
So now they talking about improve your confidence, but once again, it goes back to our history. Constantly say, haven't I told you? Matter of fact, let's read it real quick. Give me that in Joshua,
like
1 and 7, and then jump down to verse 9.
Yes, sir.
Joshua. Read the next one. Matter of fact, read that one more time. Number 4.
Number 4. Number 4, improved confidence.
Right. So their education's supposed to do that. But watch what the Most High says.
The book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 7.
Matter of fact, read straight through 9.
Yes, sir. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the
That
law.
courageous is the confidence he's want to instill in us. Right. Read it again.
Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left.
Right. So this is your education right here. We supposed to follow this thing. Teach it to our children. Read.
That thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest.
Right. In life, this is how we supposed to prosper. This is how we supposed to, like Paul had a craft. We kept these laws, and then we also went out into the world and learned different skills.
Right.
Go ahead.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
Right. They not meditating on it because they too busy in the gymnasiums with this little girl with this red hair. Read.
That thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Right. Read.
Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage.
You see that? So that confidence came with that good courage from the Most High by us obeying his laws. Read.
Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
Right. So now let's finish up on these points real quick, and then we have to go ahead and get the coon of the day. All right, go ahead. Point 5. So he's talking about improve their confidence.
Yeah.
They're not teaching them anything. No, you got it, officer. They're not teaching them anything to make them want to be courageous or to be confident.
I was gonna say, officer. Also, go ahead.
They're confident in the wickedness that they're learning. That's why, like, I'm coming out in college or whatever the case may be. You know,
What
the hell is this? And I was just gonna say, just to add to that point, remember the other article said that our kids are coming into college thinking we're not smart enough to be good in math or good in science, or you know what I'm saying. We don't have the confidence to say we're gonna make it in these subjects. But like you said, us meditating in this book here, it'll tell us who our people were, how educated our people were, that we educated other nations.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
May I mention one point on point number 2 real quick, officer? Can we scroll up to number 2? It says higher earning potential. One thing I had learned when I was working with some clients in the past, I never realized what brings what brings a value to the school system. What actually does that? It's the money that the school district can raise.
Right.
Where do we get that money from? The property taxes. A lot of people don't understand when the property taxes on our estate is real low, that drops the funding down to the school. Now you start having bad kids, and teachers are not willing to work in those school districts. So now the care goes up. They start to increase the numbers of the students, and all that because of this right here. It's just a vicious cycle. You can't make money, so you can't fund your own education, your public education. So now your kids just continue the cycle of that. Right. It's all connected, and they wired this whole thing to produce the same results over and over and over again.
Because they're saying like making more opportunities for them, but the opportunities are not being presented to them.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So now let's drop everything and give me that reel that I sent in from Facebook. Give me that reel that I sent in.
And while they're pulling that up,
There we go.
Something else that we don't do is, as our parents don't do for us when we're in high school and middle school and stuff, y'all got to start putting y'all's kids in things that can benefit them.
Right.
That's right. For example, they got, what's that, Future Farmers of America? When I was a kid, we used to be like, oh, they nerds. They just going to go milk some cows and do no. They could tell you what kind of tractor is their favorite. They can tell you what you need to do to feed chickens, to do stuff with cows, woodworking. You can get all these different jobs, and our kids, don't let your kids, until you get them out of their school system, don't let your kids choose the electives. They're going to choose PE and, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Drama class.
That's that training up a child in the way it should go. Honestly, children, like even in high school, we don't know what we want to be.
Right.
We haven't been out in the world yet to know what's a good career path and what's not a good career path.
According to Esau, you could know that if you a boy, you can be a girl.
Well, yeah, but that we are, of course.
That's how Esau teaches
destructive logic.
Right.
I say one thing real quick. as far as you see how invested Esau has become into destroying our children. Parents, y'all really got to see the attack. If you have children, you really got to try your best to undo the damage if the damage has been done and cultivate something in them. Because Moses, he started off as a child that could have easily been killed. Right. Just like Edgar Hoover, he wanted to destroy a black Messiah from coming. You got to look at your kids as that.
Right.
Because that's exactly who they are.
Right.
That's right.
They the saviors of the nation.
Right.
Right, that's right.
Right.
Go ahead and play that.
Hope is tied to vision, and if it is deferred, meaning that it is outside of their grasp, it is not attainable, it's beyond their reach, that sentences the people to death. So whenever hope and vision is out of your reach and you feel like it's unattainable, you won't even try to do anything for yourselves. And then we grow up, and then we find that we have no vision, we find that we have no purpose, and here comes the drugs, here comes the guns, here comes the violence, because my life means nothing. Because we know that we should be doing things as men. We all know that we were born with a purpose. Your mothers and fathers didn't lay down for nothing. When they produced you, there was a cause and a reason for why you were birthed.
Now look at that.
You 65, 70, whatever, you retired.
Now, that's hope put before the people. That's hope whenever they see us out in the streets. That's hope when we're out there
Bring it
teaching.
out.
We bringing education to them.
That's right.
Look,
right.
this is how you
Right.
become a young man. Look, who is Christ? Look, you was without an image, young man. We tell them all of this. We take our time with our kids to
Yes, sir.
out there and teach them. Mom, have you
right.
told them, Dad? Have you told them what color Christ is? Have you told them where they descend from? Do you know that you're from the tribe of
Bring it
Judah?
out.
Do you know you're from Issachar?
Bring it out.
This is how we teaching them now. Now watch this one. One last one. Give me that last one I just posted in there. Because these things be heavy that Bishop Yalsop be bringing out. So we had that one on him. Check. We had that one on him. We got that next one as well. Yes, sir. That's the one right there. Hey, check this one out. When I seen this, I say this to myself maybe 2-3 months ago when I seen this joint. Watch this.
When people don't have that expectation of you, you will succumb to their expectation of yourself. And you will begin to see yourself in a negative viewpoint of those who are supposed to be teaching you. You feel me? That's a very terrible thing. I particularly make it my business that when I come before you, and we're here in this classroom, we're here in this sanctuary, y'all heard me say it many times. I said, I do not tolerate mediocrity. I do not tolerate slothfulness, because I expect the absolute best out of you. That's the reason why I talk that way, because I'm angry about this. You hear me? Maybe nobody's really had enough confidence in you to tell you that you could be greater than what you see yourselves as. So that's the reason why I work extra hard to make sure that you believe that.
And that's what our leaders do today. Those are the leaders that you see being presented before you today. That's why you say your eyes gonna see your teachers. We don't be in the corners anymore behind stuff like this when it comes to our education, educating ourselves with God laws, with the whole book. This is our history book. These are the things that we should be learning, and that's why we're putting it in our people mind. That's why we had to study, pray, and apply. That's why we read your 4 chapters a day, so we can make sure that you're being educated, so you can teach the next generation behind you.
Obviously, that's what I was saying earlier about. I wish my parents had that mindset, right? Requiring excellence out of me. You know what I'm saying? That's what we doing now. Those are our spiritual fathers, and that's what they doing to us.
That's exactly what the bishop said.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go. So, good imagery.
Right.
That's right.
That's what we doing right now.
Excellence.
We speaking life back into the children, y'all.
Right. And spending time with them.
Right.
Because education is important. They got to know that you care about them. They got to know and believe that whatever you're teaching them, that they can take that with them.
Right.
That's why the Young Prophets program, when they taking them out doing different things with them, those are the things that's going to stick with them.
Right.
Because what has been sticking with them or been put before them? Go out and play at recess. come back in, take a nap. No, they got to know something. They got to have a trade. They got to know how to change a tire, fix a flat. They got to know how to screw on the water hose outside to wash a car. Who gonna teach them these things?
Hey, I should have sent a picture. I had brother Noah. He showed me how to change the brakes in my car car, and I look like one of them kids. I was sitting there putting it together. I put all them brakes on my car.
That right.
All
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we need that.
Good imagery, officer. Yeah. Good imagery. All right. So we hope y'all enjoyed tonight's show. I've been your host. It's been fun for me. I'm Officer Micah.
All right. Officer Gedaliah.
Officer Asahel.
Officer Joshua.
Officer Enos.
Officer Zakur.
But
I'm sorry.
Hey, y'all, so y'all know what it is.
Cooling of the week.
Yeah, right.
Bring it up. I forgot, bro.
We got the
Come
of the
on,
week,
throw that
y'all.
joint up there. Y'all got it. So we bearing with y'all because I jumped the gun.
It's the coon of the week.
Also get a lies face.
All right.
Proud Boys. Enrique Tario gets record 22 years in prison for January 6th seditious conspiracy.
Shout out to Manasseh.
Wow.
Wow.
Bro, what is this guy doing?
You got play, man. You got play.
Yeah, bro. Former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tario was sentenced to Tuesday to 22 years in prison for orchestrating a failed plot to keep Donald Trump in power after the Republican lost the 2020 election, capping the case with the stiffest punishment that has been handed down yet for the U.S. Capitol attack.
Wow. Wonder why.
Manasseh, man. God
You
dang it. Standing up for Esau.
All those white people.
Right.
They're covered the Capitol. I mean, they were pouring out the windows like ants.
Just running in there.
Israel get the biggest sentence.
Israel.
Way to go.
They ain't kill nobody. He ain't kill nobody. He ain't bomb rush nobody. But still got 20.
Hey, and check this. He wasn't even there.
Wow.
He wasn't. What happened was he got arrested for a whole nother charge. We ain't gonna say something on that though. He got arrested on a whole nother charge, and he was told he could not go to Washington D.C. So what they said was he was maneuvering the pieces from another hotel room. So they wanted to give him 30 years. They dropped it down to 22, but then hold on. So how did he get pulled for a whole nother crime? What the rumor is that this man and the Proud Boys, they got agents among them.
Wow.
What?
Bomb.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor.
Agents.
Wow.
But
that's a
Not
rumor.
surprised, man.
Hey, let me get a precept real quick. This for our people, just so y'all understand it. And Deacon was bringing this out. Get Amos 3.
In the spirit.
All praises. This
Yes,
this
sir.
something that Deacon was bringing out about how we conduct ourselves as Israel, y'all. Y'all gotta understand, we supposed to set an example for the world. And if we don't set the right example, who gonna deal with us? The Most High God. We represent the Most High.
That's right.
So when we act like niggas, guess what's gonna happen?
Bring it up.
God gonna have to deal with us. Read that.
Book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the
Go to
family.
verse 1.
Verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Children of Israel, that's us. You, Mr. Enrique. Go ahead.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
He's only dealing with the children of Israel. He ain't worried about the other children of the world.
Right.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
That's why when we do something stupid like this, we get the whole jail thrown at us.
Right.
But when they do something evil like poison, I don't know, Flint, Michigan water supply,
Yeah.
nothing happens to them.
Right.
It gets lost in the sauce. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, hey, that's what you get for kind of cooning, my brother.
Hey, here we go. Let's top it off with this one. Then we'll pass to URCL. Hey, give me Exodus 23, verse 1 and verse 2. Because he did some wicked stuff to try to keep Trump in power, right? Watch this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report.
That's what he did. He got caught with it. Come on.
Put not thy hand with the wicked.
With the who?
With the wicked.
That's who he running with. To try to save the wicked, read.
To be an unrighteous witness.
That's why he got them 22 years. Read.
Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
Once, like just said, he wasn't right there with him, but the actions that he did, he got sentenced for to be with the wicked. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
That's what he did. Tried to wrest judgment with Trump to keep him in office, but it didn't work.
Keep the laws, dog. Keep the law.
All right. So
brother.
Go ahead.
All right, so that's it, right, officer?
Yeah.
Sure. All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. Let's go ahead and get those credentials up, man. All praise. That was a fire show, officer.
All right, Shalom, Israel. We need you to give alms. To give at your local school, drop an envelope in the alms box. To give online via PayPal at iuic.austin@israelunite.org. To give to the Booster Club via PayPal, IUIC at fundraising, go back, thank you, at israelunite.org.
Hey, I just want to say IT.
Yeah, we see it.
Y'all do need a...
we see it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we do. Next slide. All right, hey, donate to the Booster Club. Let's continue to push this truth around the world.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Next slide.
Subscribe and follow IUIC Austin. YouTube at IUIC Austin Camp. Facebook at IUIC ATX. TikTok at IUIC Austin. Instagram at IUIC ATX.
Now this last one, roll it back at the bottom. Roll it back.
Go back.
At the bottom right there. Read the last one for me.
Donate to IUIC.Austin@israelunite.org.
All right, so donate to us so we can upgrade our little studio setup.
All right.
So please help us out, Israel. All right, next slide.
Joseph's Dream continue to support our efforts to push the right and correct images to our people via media. Donate to Matthew213.com. Our upcoming video or movie, The Curse of Miriam.
You got that memorized?
Hey, bro. You sounded like you was
Off
reading
the top of the
script.
head. That's out the top of the head.
That's like Deacon Asaph having the breaking bread scripture memorized, bro. Like, that's you,
bro.
I see you over there, bro. I see you. All praise.
All praise to the
Supposed to
Father.
remember good things.
I was looking around to see what he was reading.
All right, what else we got after this?
Hey, subscribe today to IUIC Levant, IUIC Diaspora, and all our new African
IUIC
locations.
Eritrea.
That's right.
Right. Praises. All
We
praises.
say thank y'all for joining us. All right, continue to join us. Subscribe to our page.
Shout out
all
to
right,
leadership.
and we're gonna continue to bring forth the best content we can for you, Israel. Yeah, shout out to leadership. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, all praise. Hey, shout out to yet again Bishop Nathaniel the
General, that's right.
Bishop Yawasab.
Yeah.
Bishop Kanayal, all the deacons, the captains, the officers. Shout out to Officer Halez.
Yep.
Officer Razzie.
Check.
Right. Hey,
We miss y'all, man.
Shout out to Officer Anonymous, Tech Team. Y'all be in the spirit.
And with that, I've been Officer Micah.
Officer Gedaliah.
Officer Asahel.
Officer Joshua.
Officer Enos.
Officers occur.
And this time, we've been WCO.
Yeah. Flex on and you a star. You're the one raised in a bar. Pull up on the haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey, everybody know you a star. You the one raised in a bar. Yeah. Pull up on the haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey, everybody know. Hey, you put in work. I know the enemy's trying to do you hurt. Can't sleep in the time when you froze and your friends be plotting. Now you gotta stay alert. You the best, so you know what you work. You ain't slipping, no, I see your game turn. Did a lot, you done changed and upgrade, and you turn another page. You ain't trying to revert. know you see the plot. They be tryna slow you down, you ain't tryna stop. They be tryna break you, but you're solid down a rock. They be running cold, but you steady getting hot. Everything, yeah, giving everything you got. Ayy, non-stop. Ayy, everything you working for, you know it mean a lot. Yeah, yeah, you headed way to the top. You're the only one made for the spot. You a star. You're the one raised in a bar. Pull up on them haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey, everybody know you a star. You the one raised in a bar. Hey, yeah. Pull up on them haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey, everybody know
we the stars, got the drip. All of my brothers, they going hard on the strip. Shining from afar, they know we lit. Straight to the top, we coming up from the pit. That's why I flex on these haters and I ain't gon' stop. Cause you know we the greatest, we the cream of the crop. I be damned if a hater come and take my spot. Enemies in the cut, tryna scheme, tryna plug.
know you see the plot. They be tryna slow you down, you ain't tryna stop. They be tryna break you, but you're solid down a rock. They be running cold, but you steady getting hot. Everything, yeah, giving everything you got. Ayy, non-stop. Ayy, everything you working for, you know it mean a lot. Yeah, yeah, you headed way to the top. You're the only one made for the spot. You a star. You're the one raised in a bar. Pull up on them haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey, everybody know you a star. You the one raised in a bar. Hey, yeah. Pull up on them haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey, everybody know you a star, it don't matter what they say. You a star like you living out of space. You raising up the bar like you trying to stay in shape. Chin up, pull up and look a hater in the face. Tell them that's that Israelite pride in your walk. Tell them that's that Israelite pride in your talk. Most high God said you above all. We the real stars, don't fall for the plots. Know you see the plot. They be trying to slow you down, you ain't trying to stop. They be trying to break you, but you're solid down a rock. They be running cold, but you steady getting hot. Everything, yeah, giving everything you got. Ayy, non-stop. Ayy, everything you working for, you know it mean a lot. Yeah, yeah, you headed way to the top. You're the only one made for the spot. You a star. You're the one raised in a bar. Pull up on them haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey, everybody know you a star. You the one raised in a bar. Hey, yeah. Pull up on them haters on a block, made a top drop in your spaceship, not a car. Hey.